Hello there. Now, does anybody else think it's an absolute travesty that the Newcastle Odeon Cinema in Pilgrim Street in Newcastle was demolished? Now, I think that was a really good cinema, and it was possibly my favourite cinema of all time. Um, I particularly liked Screen 3. Screen 3 was my favourite. I don't know what it was about that screen, that auditorium, but I always found it really interesting. For one thing, the the film was projected off mirrors in Screen 3 and also in Screen 2 because Screen 2 and 3 shared the same projection room as well. So both projectors were in the same projection room, and they were both projected from off mirrors. And I found out the reason for this when I visited the projection rooms many years ago. I went back over the years at different times to visit the projection rooms again and speak to the projectionists and stuff, catch up on things. And the reason why they were projected off mirrors was because when they split the cinema up into four screens, because it used to be just one screen, one big screen, one auditorium, and they split it up into four. They couldn't fit the projectors in the space they had in order to have it projecting straight onto the screen directly. So the only way they could do it was to have the projector sideways and bounce it off a mirror. That's the only way they could fit it into the space they had. The space they had allocated for the cinema and the auditorium and everything, the projection room. So I always found that aspect interesting when I was younger, and I used to be going to the cinema with my dad, and we went to see stuff like the Black Hole, Disney's The Black Hole. And I also went to see Spider-Man: The Dragon's Challenge, which was originally made for TV, but it was released to cinemas. A few of them films were released to cinemas in the UK. They were like two-part episodes spliced together to make a feature-length film. And I always used to look back at the projection room, the projection windows, and I used to see the mirror, and I always used to wonder why is it projected off a mirror, So many years later, when I got to visit the projection rooms and I was shown around by the chief projectionist, all that was cleared up, and they told us why that was the case and everything. It was really interesting. And when I went the first time, actually every time I went, I actually videoed in the projection rooms and videoed the projectors and everything. And the first time I went, it was the first time I had seen the platter systems, which if you don't know what they are, that they've got like a nickname as of a cake stand, where they have three flat plates, metal plates, and the film lies on top of the plate, and it comes out of the center through some rollers and a special thing in the middle. I don't know what you call it. It's like a console in the middle with rollers on and stuff, and you thread the film through, and it goes around other rollers around the walls and everything, and then threads through the projector. There's some examples of this system here on YouTube, actually, if you want to check it out if you haven't seen it before. And it's very interesting, actually. It's a pity everything's digital projection now, because it was so much more interesting to look at and experience and everything when you were actually there looking at it. And some people still maintain that film projection is the best quality compared to the digital projection, because apparently digital projection is supposed to be lower resolution than actual film projection, especially if the film's projected anamorphically, which means cinemascope ratio, the cinemascope system, where the film is vertically squeezed by the lens in the camera, and then when it's projected, it's stretched out by the same sort of lens that's turned the other way, so it stretches it out, and I think it doubles the resolution or something. makes the resolution way higher. Anyway, I'm getting a bit off the beaten track here, but that screen 3 in the Odeon was really good. It was nice and cozy for one thing. The screen wasn't too small, even though the screens were obviously made smaller to fit them into the four different auditoriums. But the screen was still nice and big, possibly not as big as the multiplex cinema screens, but it was still big enough, you know. And they had a nice sort of surround sound system and comfortable seats and nice lighting, and of course you had the curtains, which you don't have in most of the multiplex cinemas now, unfortunately. You used to have curtains at the Warner Brothers Cinema at Manners in Newcastle, but that got demolished as well. All the best cinemas get demolished. The Metro Centre cinema, that used to be the one next to the bus station, that got demolished. It didn't have curtains, but it was still a nice cinema. I was upset about that as well. So, but I saw quite a few films in Screen 3 at the Odeon. I remember watching Someone to Watch Over Me with Tom Berenger and Mimi Rogers and Lane Bracco, and also saw The Last Emperor, Double Impact with Jean-Claude Van Damme, Only You with Robert Downey Jr., Sleepwalkers, Stephen King's Sleepwalkers. So that's a few of the films I watched in Screen 3. I also saw Aliens when it first came out in there as well, with a tutor from college and some other college, people I went to college with. That was good. Also, I like the other screens in the Odeon, but I didn't like the Screen 1 so much because the seats went like way up high, and I don't like heights and stuff. So I much prefer the smaller, cozy auditoriums, you know. So I'd like to know some of you that's watching, your thoughts on the cinema being demolished. What do you feel about that? Because I was hoping it would get reopened. Maybe as the Odeon. If it couldn't be the Odeon, then maybe as a different cinema or something. But if they kept it more or less the same, like the auditoriums and that, more or less, it would have been great if that could have happened. But it used to be a listed building, you know. I mean, many of you probably already know that. But then they removed the list and so they could demolish it. I think after so many years they can take it off or something, which is unfortunate, you know. It's just a shame that it got demolished. I was up there a few months ago and just seeing the big empty space where it used to be. Does anybody know what they're gonna build there instead now in the same location? Does anyone know what's happening with that? Because I haven't really heard. And there was a website online where it had pictures inside the Odeon as they were dismantling it. I think it might have been an urban exploration site. It was interesting because they removed the wall, the partition and wall between screens 2 and 3, and someone took a photograph from screen 2, and you could see screen 2's screen was still there with the black masking round, and you could see screen 3's screen through where the wall used to be and where the seats used to be. It was just like a sloping floor where the seats used to be. They'd removed all the seats and everything, so they were getting ready to demolish it basically. So that's my thoughts on the Odeon, and I've pretty much lost my footage that I had of the projection rooms because I shot it on VHS-C, compact VHS tapes. I might still have it somewhere, but it's kind of lost somewhere. I transferred it onto a full-size VHS tape, but VHS tapes deteriorate and stuff, so it probably wouldn't look very good now, I should imagine. But if you've got anything you would like to ask me or tell us about the Odeon, your experiences when you visited the Odeon, and what films you saw there, and in what screen and everything, and what you thought about the cinema and the projection, and anything to do with the Odeon, I'd like to hear from you. If you would like to get in touch, leave a comment or or you can message us on the messaging system here on YouTube if you want. So I'd just like to thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you all on the next video. So bye for now.